So I'm just gonna get right into things before I can make this awkward because I don't talk a lot, but I made a plush of a friend's character and I just felt like talking a little bit about the process, so yeah, that's about the summary. I started by making a basic paper pattern, just kind of out of the scrap paper. It's very bad. You can tell that's not great, but it's a start because this is just for the pattern test and I needed somewhere to start. I remember in the pattern test, I originally put a wire in the tail to help it stay up because Avon's tail is very long and very thin, so notoriously not easy to make work well in sewing, but on the final product it worked okay without the wire, so I decided to remove it. And then in the next photo I have gotten the tail connected to the body and also gotten the neck fluff done. And I was originally going to do I don't even know what to call this, just like cut a pattern into the fake fur to make it look more like feathers, but then I realized this thing is way too small to make that work well as someone who's very inexperienced with it. It just wouldn't look good, and I decided against it in the final thing. Then I started testing out the style for the wings, and oh boy, Avon does have a lot of wings, so I had to make sure that I liked the style for feather details in this. I eventually decided on the style to just keep it simple, don't try and do anything detailed, especially for the smaller parts, and just kind of lower the details slightly more on the really, really tiny wings on the tail and the tail and the ears, I believe. Then I got the tail wings attached to the tail in the pattern test, and also the head attached. And I remember noticing that the head was facing a bit too far up, so that had to be fixed for the final product. But otherwise things were working out well. I then had to decide how exactly I want to do the markings on the wing. I tested a couple different ways and then eventually decided to just go a completely different route in the final product because I can't decide on anything. I eventually get all the legs sewn on, and there are definitely a lot of issues with them, but they function. I started working on the final thing by working on the body markings first so I could get that all sewn together. Then once I got the body all sewn together, then I got the head done, got all the markings on the head done, and just sewed it onto the body, as you can see from this photo of me yet again breaking Avon's neck. Then I got the horns done. I was originally planning to actually felt the horns and then sew them on, but I decided this would just be a better way to do it and also would keep the consistency of the texture across most of the plush. Next thing I did was get the neck feathers and the tail sewn on. As you can see, the tail didn't start with all its markings on it. I just decided to applique on parts of the markings on the tail just to keep my own sanity. Then after that, it was the hind legs getting sewn on, and then the front legs were done, so I sewed those on. Then I got the eyes done, and after that came the confusing part of how to get these tiny gold markings on Avon. It took a while to try and decide, do I want to do this with like stiff felt? Do I want to do this just by sewing two sides of Minky together and not being able to flip them inside out, just sewing them the right side out? And I eventually decided on doing that. Lastly, I need to get all the wings done, so got all the main wings done, the ear wings and the tail wings. Got those all sewn on. And then finally, after like, I think 7 months, it was done. And yeah, that's about all I wanted to talk about. Thanks for listening if you decide to deal with the terrible audio.